Hi guys, this is AEP 880 Module 1 intro video. My name's Aaron. My life's background. I was born and never have moved away from Northwest Ohio. It's a very, very flat area. Here's Northwest Ohio. We've got Toledo, Cleveland, Columbus. Now you're kind of familiar. I grew up and never moved away from this circle. I lived here, went to college here in Bowling Green, moved here. My wife is from there, and I teach there. So as you can see, I haven't really spread my wings too much when it comes to moving anywhere. I've been a lot of places, been all over the place, but this is just pretty much where I've lived. My professional career, I taught 1 year, 7th and 8th grade math and science. This is now my 6th year, 4th grade math and science. I'm on the building leadership and district leadership teams at Napoleon area city schools, and I am currently the drone racing advisor. Napoleon is, so here's Toledo. Napoleon is way out here, kind of out here in the middle of nowhere. When it says city, we're barely a city. Family. Family's huge for me. As a picture of my wife. I love her dearly. And then my other part of my family who's big in it, this is Cooper. He's a little 6-pound guy with a lot of personality, and we love him. Some of my family history and background. I had to call my dad on this, but my great-grandparents are from Germany, Czechoslovakia, and England. My grandparents were all farmers, so my parents actually were the first generation to not be farmers. They were farmers when they were kids, obviously. They helped out a lot, but then they became they had other professions. Like my father was a professional photographer in Ohio here. My mom, she works at a nursing home. And I chose this picture over here because I really wanted to represent, you know, what my family was like before my parents. And actually, had my uncle not passed away when I was in high school, my path I could see was actually in his footsteps. Because we only lived about a mile away from him, and I was up there. I was helping with asparagus and tomatoes and working on the farm. And then he passed away from cancer. So then my career path changed. Some of my family traditions. One huge tradition that you do not get in the way of is my family goes out to dinner for everybody's birthday. If it's your birthday, you have about a 3-day window, plus or minus your birthday, that you need to go out to eat with everybody. And if you don't, well, people get unhappy. I married into a family that actually has an annual golf tournament every year since the 1960s. And I've won once, and that was a good time. Some of my hobbies, baseball, curling. I love curling. That's a new thing for me and my wife. That's a lot of fun. Old stereo equipment, snowmobiling, and there's a picture of myself at the golf outing with the trophy. And then I have a picture of my dad and I. Huge. I'm huge with family, and we were hunting mushrooms, morel mushrooms. So who am I? I chose some of these pictures here. These are pictures that I took at school. My passion is, well, I had to ask my wife. I'm like, Becky, what what defines me? She's like, well, you really like the things that you're passionate about. And I had to really think deeply on this, and I'm passionate about my students and the way that they learn. And I really want to push for my students to learn and just to think. They have to think way outside of the box. So I chose these pictures of these students. This one here, these students are, it's like a Sudoku puzzle, but with shapes. And they had to put these together, and they were having a great time, and I wanted to make it fun. And then here we're doing a food web. Having them learn with their hands, that's huge with me. I really love just to see them grow like that. And then here I've got a student working with Connects in an after-school STEM program where they had to work together and try to think of how to get this crane essentially to lift something off the ground. And then I just love getting kids to think about the world around them. This is my nephew, and I take him all over the place, and I try to make him not just go and visit somewhere, but think about the things that are happening. Why are all these fish different? Where did these fish come from in the aquarium behind them? That sort of thing. And really, I'm just big into family. My family, my wife's family. I love being with people and just having a great time because they're not always going to be there, and their interests might be different than mine, and mine are going to be different than other people's. But find those common interests, love one another, as corny as that sounds, but and then you have to take that same idea back to your students. You have to understand that they are all going to be different. Find out what their interests are. You're going to have something in common with every single one of them, and learn to do that with them, with those students. Talk about it and really pay attention to it, because once they find that connection with you, it makes it that much sweeter. Thanks, guys.